Good morning, guys, or good evening, or afternoon, depends where you are in the world. This little video is a bit of a talking head video, really. It's going to be about the sort of things you've got to watch out for in the Philippines. We'll start sort of in Manila when you sort of land. Me personally, you need to keep your eye out on the taxis, especially when you're coming from the airport. You try not to get the yellow ones if you can, because they are like the airport taxi, and you tend to pay a lot more with them. Make sure you go to one of the taxi little kiosks along the side to get a ticket and tell them where you're going. They will write it down and they will tell you roughly what, or they will tell you what the fare will be to your destination, so that way you're not going to get scammed by the taxi driver. Because we have had it where, I think last time I went, we got approached by a taxi driver and we was only going to a hotel in Pasay, which is not very far away at all, and he wanted nearly 1,000 pesos for that journey. When we went and got our ticket at the little kiosk, we paid 250 pesos for the taxi. So if you're going to get into a taxi, make sure they're using the meter. Me personally, I only use Grab, because when you book your taxi online, you've got a price, whether it's heavy traffic or anything like that. It don't come into it. If you're getting a metered taxi, then you're going to pay more if it's extra long. What I tend to do is I get the Grab, and if I've been in the taxi a really long time, or longer than I expected, then I normally do it on Grab, so I pay when I get out the taxi. That way, if you get a taxi driver and he don't turn up and all that, they can't charge you for it. But what I do is I always give them a few extra pesos if there's been really heavy traffic or something like that, But that's your choice then. You're not, you're not sort of forced into paying exorbitant fares. If we're on the subject of travel, Jeepneys. There's a new style of Jeepney, which is, well, it's an old Jeepney, but it's a new style. It's more of a square shape. Now, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2". I can't get in there. Can't do it. The main type Jeepney, which is the old style one, I can just about. You've got to really bend to get in there, and it's sort of, you get in and reverse out. It's a bit like that, really. And also with the trikes, I have to be careful what trike I get, for the simple reason is, where I'm so tall, I can't sit in there. If I've got my girlfriend with me, then there's not enough room inside the trike for us both. It's or you go on the back. So I try to keep my eye out for the bigger trikes, and if I get to an area and I'm going to be staying there for a while, I try to get the guy's number, and then if I want to use a trike, and if he's available, then I use him. That's sort of transportation, really. So let's go to hotels. If you're going there on a budget, what I tend to do is I get a hotel in Pasai usually, because when I fly from the UK, the flight don't normally land until about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So all I want to do after a sort of 28 to 30 hour flight is get some sleep. Now, I've done the Philippines now for about 3 times. The first time I stayed in a hotel in Pasay. That hotel was called Red Doors near Pasay Rotunda. It's very out of the way. I wouldn't really recommend it. You know, don't get me wrong, it was clean enough, but it was out of the middle of nowhere. You couldn't, once we got the taxi there, when it comes to the following day, the guy from the hotel ended up going up to the main road and getting us a taxi, so it was a bit hard to get a taxi from there. So that was that one. The last 2 times I've stayed Red Doors near Pasay Taff. That is a good one. Outside of there you've got lots of little places for street food, all that. They don't do food or anything there. They have got a little shop right next door for all your little amenities. The rooms are big. You get like a queen size bed. You do have a bit of a kitchen in there. I can't remember if you've got a cooking stove or not, but you do have a ref and all that sort of stuff. And that hotel was about 1,500 pesos a night. The Rotunda one was about 1,400, but it was the year before. So I've actually stayed at the Pasay Taff one twice now. The people are really good. It's very secure. It's inside like a gated area. It is towards the back area a little bit, but it's not very far walk to the main road, and you can get a grab straight. You can call a grab and it'll come there, so no problem. Yeah, I really like that hotel. That's my main hotel I sort of stay in when I first land, because it's really comfortable. The people are good. It's quiet considering where it is. Yeah, so that's the sort of hotels that I stay in when I land. If you want something a little bit better and it's fairly near to the airport, I've stayed in the Savoy Manila. I've normally stay there when it's time for going home usually, because it's very near to the airport. That's a really nice hotel. It's a bit more pricey. That's about I don't know what that is in pesos. I think it's about £50, so whatever that is at the exchange rate. Right, just checked on the phone. As the rate is at the moment, it's about 3,500 a night. which is about £50. Yeah, so that's not a bad hotel as well. Other hotels I've stayed in Manila is the 101 Hotel. That's about the same as that one. That's not a bad hotel. That's very, very close to the Mall of Asia. That's a really nice hotel. If you want a sort of hotel in the Cubao area, let's have a look what we got. We've got the Dream World Hotel, which is pretty good. We've got the 99 Hotel Cubao. They're both good. I haven't stayed in them, by the way. My girlfriend has, and I've seen her make a video of that. It's on our channels if you want to have a look at what they are. Her channel is Nada's Adventures, if you want to look there, and you can also check for my videos and you'll see it there. There's also a Dream Hotel in North Edsa, which is good. She stayed there. You've got a Hotel 99 in Monumento, which is near to Caliocan and Edsa area. That was a nice hotel. I've stayed there. Yeah, the 101, that one. The Monumento one, my girlfriend stayed there quite a bit. Well, that's Manila. Anyway, that's getting there. So we'll go over to a little bit more about what I would avoid. Right, we've already said about the taxis from the airport, so be careful of that. I tend to, when buying food in the market and things like that, I try to buy stuff from stalls that are displaying the price. That way you know you're going to get what you're paying for. You know, or let your Filipino, if you've got one, go and say you're going to get some veg or whatever, let her do the thing and you stay back out of the way and you'll get it a bit cheaper. You know, you do get the, sometimes with the food, you do get the foreigner rate and all that. Some of the other things to watch out for is look where you're walking. That's one of the main things. There's the curbs and all that are up and down. Some of them are like going up steps just to get up the curb. And there's always plenty of holes around, so just keep your eye where you're walking. That's one thing. And also avoid smelly puddles, because you get some bits where the sort of sewage is pumping out onto the street a bit and it's very smelly water usually. I found a lot of that in Angeles, that area. There is some in Miller though as well, like that. Yeah, so beware of the smelly water. One of the tips I would say, if you're going out there, take some like mosquito spray or something like that with you, because it's quite a bit cheaper here in the UK anyway than it is there, and sometimes it's pretty hard to get, especially things like suntan, sun lotion and after sun. I found you could get the suntan stuff quite easily, but after sun was quite hard to get, because you know we're all trying to make ourselves brown and all the Filipinos are trying to make themselves white, so it's a bit of one of them situations. Colanderia food. When you're buying stuff from place that, try and make sure what you're buying is warm, or it's hot. You do get quite a lot of cold food there, and I've had quite a lot of it, and I've never ever had food poisoning or anything like that. But I go along the street food, and I was going to get some fried chicken and stuff like that, and my girlfriend sort of looks at me, and I go to get it. Should we get this one? Oh no, don't get that one. The oil looks dirty. So, you know, just keep your eye out on what you're buying. 9 times out of 10, I find the old street food's quite nice. I do like the old barbecue. That's really good. You get the pork, and you get the liver and all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, that's really good. And usually most Filipinos are pretty good. They'll all talk to you and all that. Just bear in mind, if you do ask anyone for directions, they may not be telling you the right directions. They would rather tell you slightly the wrong way, right, than admit they don't know. That's what we've found. So I tend to use a map on my phone. The best one I found that worked there well, Google Maps is okay, but I didn't think it worked that great. I use City Mapper. That's pretty good, because you can just choose the area you're in, and the map can be offline as well. So that's that. If anyone does want to know any other sort of information, put it in the comments, and maybe I'll do another video a bit like this, and I'll answer some of the questions. Some of the areas I've been with, obviously I've been around Manila quite a bit. Caloocan I've been, Manila Bay area. We've also been to Cebu. Yeah, it's nice. I didn't really go into it was just sort of pass through trip, because we was getting the boat from there. We've done the boat from Cebu to Manila, which is a 24-hour boat trip. I think it cost about 3,000 pesos each, but that was business class with a cabin, and that was including breakfast, dinner and lunch on the boat, and because you were business class, you went in the business class area for your food. If you don't do business class, it's a bit like a cattle truck. Yeah, but it's worth that extra. It's not that much difference for the business class, but when we did it, I don't think there was any suites left. We ended up with, they only did one, like a cabin with 2 single beds, but you're only sleeping overnight really anyway, so it's okay. That was a good trip. We went to Palumpum, which is on Leyte. We flew from Manila to Tacloban. We stayed in, I can't remember the name now, a Red Doors Hotel I think it was, in Tacloban. Can't remember the name. Then we got the van from Tacloban to Palumpum. If you go into that area and you want a hotel, the Sugar Inn. Check out our videos. We'll do a little bit of a video with the owner there. They've got some really good rooms, really good rates. I think I've got a room there with a kitchen and all that for 800 pesos. And if you get the rooms which are downstairs and there's the groups of you, like two groups, like a couple, they've got 2 rooms downstairs next door to one another, which opens out onto like a sitting area. And if you're renting both of them 2 rooms, that area, whole area, becomes private. So you've got like a sitting area outside, a kitchen and 2 rooms. And them rooms were like 800 pesos each. So that was pretty good. And the Wi-Fi is amazing there, really good. So Pelumpum area, Sugar Inn. I would highly recommend that one. I would go back there again. The guy that run the hotel, we did a really, when we went to Pelumpum from Tocloban, the van trip was absolutely hair raising. And I spoke to the guy. He does do some airport pickups and things like that if you speak to him when you book, and we got him to take us private car from the hotel straight to Tocloban. We was going to be staying in Tocloban. He took us straight to another hotel. I think I paid him 2,500 or 3,000, something like that. But bear in mind, it is like a 3-hour journey. So he's got to do 6 hours driving for that. So, and the fuel. A lot of the other places we didn't really stay that long. In Pelumpum, by the port, good street food market. It's like all set out with tables and all that outside, and it's all lit up really good. That was really good. We went there with Nada's parents, and we had food there. That was really good. Going back to things you've got to watch out for when you're walking through sort of streets that are a little bit crowded. Be careful with the little kids, because they do sort of try to put their hand in your pocket. I had that on one occasion. A little kid tried to put his hand in my pocket, but my hand was in there and I didn't keep my money there anyway. And I just stopped and said to him, "What are you trying to put my hand in my pocket?" And the mum was there and she was like, all apologetic and all of that, but you know, what can you do? But you do get a bit of the kids coming out and holding their hand out and all that. Well, what I tend to do is I just use my change up, you know. If I do that, then once that's gone, that's it. If I get any more change throughout the day, then I might do that, but that's what I do. If you're going to be taking any Filipinos back to your hotel, make sure all your money and your valuables are locked away. Me personally, I haven't done it, but if I was to you know, in Manila or Angeles or anywhere and pick up a Filipina and you want to go back to a hotel with her, you're probably better off just renting like a short time hotel, because that way you've only got the stuff that's in your pocket. You know, your other stuff ain't around. A little bit of advice really. Yeah, I'm running out of ideas really, guys. I don't really want to get into the Filipinos, where to find them and all that. I don't want to be doing all that. So it's not something I've done. My girlfriend, I met her online. We've been together now for 3 years. I spoke to her online for like nearly a year before we met. You know, she's a good girl, but they still have their little tempo moments, you know. You just got to let them know that that's not acceptable. If they've got a problem, then talk about it. You've got to drum that in the beginning. But 9 times out of 10, they're fine, in my experience. Right, guys, just got one other thing. Do you think we should do some lives? Maybe we could do a live and I can answer a few of your questions. Or maybe if I can get the girlfriend, maybe we can do a live together, and maybe she can answer some of your questions. Bear in mind, I am in the UK, she's in the Philippines, so it would have to be in the daytime UK wise, UK morning, to be good enough for her to come online, so that's when we'd have to do it. If anyone thinks it's worth doing, let us know. Well, some of the good points. People are lovely. The food's good, depending on obviously what you like. I like sort of stews and stuff like that anyway. So I found most of the food was good. I did like the street food. That side of things is quite cheap. Yeah, that's some of the good points. The people were great. You know, the beer's cheap. Hotels were reasonably, well, very cheap compared with the UK. An average hotel here per night, I'm not talking central London, I'm talking outskirts, you know, outskirts of London or a different part in the UK, you're probably looking nearly £100 a night. Sometimes you might get a Holiday Inn for a little sort of 68 or something like that, but that's still quite a lot of money compared with the £20-25 in the Philippines. So hotels, the prices are good. Travelling around was pretty good. Buses, if you want to get around from Manila, you've got 3 main bus terminals. You've got Pitex, which is near to Edsa and Caloocan area. You've got Pasay and Cubao. They're all sort of different ones. From them 3 places you can pretty much get anywhere really on Luzon. If you want to go to like Baguio, you can get a bus from any of them 3 places to go there. There will be some up and coming videos on probably Baguio, because we're probably going to go there when I go next time. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and keep giving us your comments, and if I can answer your questions, I do read all the comments. I will reply. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Cheers guys.